And welcome everybody.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening. We're here at the Santa Monica High School Athletic Hall of Fame banquet. The dinner's wrapping up, and we're about ready to get on to the festivities. We usually start earlier, and then it sits here muted forever, but we're good now.
You all.
All right, and Jolie's calling everybody to the seats.
Ooh, we can't hear her.
And we welcome everybody. How many we got? All 11 of y'all. We appreciate y'all. All 11.
And throughout the ceremony, if you feel like you have to go to the restroom, go to the bar, we just ask that during the videos you do not get up to go do those things to where we can respect the recipient that is being shown on the video. So that would be greatly appreciated. So if everybody ready? Yeah. Okay, all right. Okay, so for those who do not know who I am, my name is Jolie Hartman, and I have the honor of stepping in tonight to fill in for the infamous Scott Arsenault as co-masters of ceremony to celebrate the new inductees into the Santa Monica High School Athletic Hall of Fame. And speaking of Scott Arsenault, here are a few words from him.
Welcome tonight to the seventh day now Santa Monica High School Hall of Fame ceremony. Tonight's a special night. We get to honor our past athletes, community supporters, as well as legacy members of our community. These people have not only shaped Santa Monica High School, they have left a lasting legacy. So now I'd like to bring up Ms. Christina Carter to welcome y'all here, the current principal of Santa Monica High School, to welcome you here tonight for this evening.
So our leader and our principal, Miss Christina Carter.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks. Good evening, y'all. I just wanted to say thank you for spending some time with us this evening. We appreciate you coming out just to celebrate such a great occasion at Santa Monica High. We talk about all of the things that we do for our community and our community does for us. And so anytime we can celebrate some of the products of Santa Monica High and what they have gone on to do is just a great occasion. I appreciate you guys for coming out, and I hope you enjoy the ceremony.
At this time, I would like to also introduce some special guests. We have our Associate Principal, Miss Kelly Gonzalez, here tonight. Athletic Director, David Oliver. Athletic Secretary, Jamie Lanou. Some Hall of Fame Selection Committee members, Van Lambert, Chuck Sheets, David Swacker, and James LeBlanc. Now I'd like to recognize and take a moment to thank the following people that make tonight possible, and one to remember for our Hall of Famers. Our Booster Club, and our Booster Club members that are present tonight with our Booster Club President, Mr. James LeBlanc. Duck Roost Sports Network, Chuck Sheets and Brad Guidry, for going live for us tonight And the coolest thing that I know about them too is that we are nationally known from right here from home because of them going live. I absolutely love to listen to them for the football games and hear where people are chiming into and things like that. I'm pretty sure we've heard Hawaii a few times, Canada, so really cool to know that Santa Monica High is nationally known. Our photographer tonight, Mark LeBlanc from Acadiana Sports, thank you for capturing tonight for us, for these inductees and everything you do for Santa Monica High. Coach Jay Dykes, for your dedication behind all the many screens that you have been doing for these last few years for the Hall of Fame and producing the amazing videos for tonight's presentation. This place right here, okay, Casio's 360, for their hospitality in the meal, and D1 Training Facility for sponsoring this tonight in our Hall of Fame program. So please, another round of applause for the special people that make this event happen. The Santa Monica High School Athletic Hall of Fame honors the exceptional contributors, legacies, coaches, and athletes who have shaped our school's proud sports tradition. Being inducted into the Santa Monica High Hall of Fame means that you have not only excelled in academics, sports, coaching, service, or leadership, but also inspired others through your dedication and character. It is a recognition of your hard work, perseverance, and the positive legacy you left behind. This honor connects you to Santa Monica High's history and sets an example for future generations to follow. You're joining a special family of champions that will be forever shrined at Santa Monica High's Go Dome. So tonight, we celebrate not just your achievements of service, but the spirit that makes Santa Monica High athletics truly special and great. Now, before we start the ceremony, I want to let every inductee know that after each video, I will call the inductee's name, and we will ask that the inductee only, or the person accepting the award, to go to the front of the stage right here where the awards are, and you're going to take a picture with our athletic director and principal with your award. Once you've taken your picture, you can return to your seat. Again, congratulations on this award. Without further ado, let's get started with honoring our inductees.
Tonight's first inductee is somebody that's extremely special to me, but also the Santa Monica community. It's Coach Benny Babbitt. Benny not only was a coach here in the district for over 30 years, right, at Santa Monica High School, as well as the community at Galvez Middle School. He was one of the first athletes at the new Santa Monica High School in 1978. Benny, his wife Stacy, as well as his family, have been tremendous supporters, as well as participants in every avenue that you have at Santa Monica High School. So without any further ado, I'm very proud to introduce our first inductee, Coach Benny Babbitt.
My memories of growing up in Santa Monica with my friends were we all went to the same high school in this parish. They only had one, it was at East Ascension. And then we found out in 1978 that Santa Monica was going to have their own high school. We were all very excited. In 1978, when the school opened, we came in on an odd year to schedule, so we only had seven ball games. We ended up 5-1 that year. And the excitement was the first game we went to St. Mary's in Natchitoches, Louisiana, played on artificial turf, and beat them 7-0. When you turned around and saw the cheering and the crowd, it was just super exciting. We had a large number of people that followed us up there to watch that ball game. The next year, my senior year, in '78, we were in the District 6-4A, and we went 0-10, had a hard year. We didn't have very many kids on the team, maybe about 27-30, and a lot of us played both ways. Played in the pit was special. We did go 0-10 that year, and I can remember laying on the field my senior year after we lost 20-18 to McKinley. We missed a 2-point conversion and tied the game. And thinking, you know, if there was any way possible, I was going to come back and help this school never be 0-10 again. And so far, they're rolling along. Football program's in excellent hands. The person who was a role model or influenced me the most, I was very fortunate. As a 6-year-old, I started playing football. And my first 2 coaches were Ronnie Miette and Danny Richardson for the Sorrento Tiger football team. Both of those guys were excellent. They made football a lot of fun. And they helped me gain a lot of confidence in my ability to play that sport, taught me a lot. They also gave me my first coaching job when I was in the 9th grade. I went back and coached the Sorrento 7- and 8-year-old team, and that was kind of when the first, coaching job came along that I really enjoyed it and made me want to get into the coaching profession. I also had very good coaches in high school, Lance Cohan, Glenn Bourgeois, Richard Brown, and a guy that was my position coach in high school, Mike Doherty. They all made it fun. Their classes were outstanding, and it was a joy to see them guys every day. So I really appreciate their influence. For highlights of my career, I have a couple. The biggest highlight was watching kids that played for me at the middle school level go on to Santa Monica High School and continue to improve and have success playing sports at Santa Monica High School and having great careers. At Santa Monica as a track coach, 2 big highlights come to mind were in track in 2008 and 2009. Our boys team at Santa Monica High School finished state runner-up. It was very satisfying in 2009 when we only took 3 athletes, 3 boys, to the state meet and finished second in the state in 5A track. When it was time to go receive the second place state runner-up award, the lady at the stand said, "Coach, would you like to wait for the rest of your athletes to show up?" I took a count, 1, 2, 3. No, man, we're all here, so we're going to take a picture. So that was a very satisfying moment in track. Those boys did an outstanding job. It was Wayne Douglas, he placed in 3 events, Brandon Morris in 2 events, and Chase Keller in 1 event. So very, very rewarding deal there. And then my last, accomplishment is last year in 2025, our girls track team won a district championship, which was something that hadn't been done in about 25 to 30 years at Santa Monica. We finished a number of times runner-up, but finally securing that district championship was a great honor, and especially on my last year of coaching. So I was very appreciative to that group of girls and the coaching staff for such a hard work and getting the job done in 2025. So what does it mean to get inducted in the Santa Monica Hall of Fame? To me, it means the world to me. The people that know me the best know how much I love Santa Monica. I also am very proud that the committee saw the body of work that I have done, and I'm able to get in here because of that. And I also am super proud this night that I'm being inducted with my 2 sons, Seth and Brian. Some of the people I'd like to thank, of course, my parents, Bernard and Judy Babin, instilled a work ethic in me that I still use today. My wife, Stacy, has been with me through all this, and we've worked together for 30 years at Galvez Middle, and she's been the biggest supporter I have. I would like to thank Clara Reynolds. She is that one teacher that really makes a difference in a student's life, and that student was me when I was back in high school. I really didn't plan on going to college. Took the easy way, practical courses. In 9th grade, she pulled me out, put me in some college prep courses, and very instrumental in me going to college and becoming a teacher and a coach. So I really like to thank her. Robert Cluot, is the first principal that I worked for, and I appreciate the faith that he had to hire me and give me an opportunity to coach at Galvez, along with the rest of the administrators there. I was allowed to work with the kids and have some fun, and your administrators make it worthwhile. Doug Morrow allowed me to be a part of the Santa football program my first year at Galvez. Really, he's the man that gave me a chance and showed me a lot about football, and I really would like to thank him. David Swacker is the guy that I probably learned the most football from, the X's and O's of the game. Spent a lot of time with him, a lot of time. I coached spring football at Santa High School the years he was the head coach. Picked up a lot from him. He's a great friend, him and his wife. And I'd also like to thank him for the large role he played in my sons, Brian and Seth, and my daughter, Callie's athletic careers at Santa High School. I'd also like to thank the committee for voting us in the Hall of Fame, and Coach David Oliver for being such a great friend. Thank you.
Our first inductee, Coach Benny Babin.
Our next inductee is Brian Babin. Cinnamon may know him as Boone. Brian was a three-sport standout here at Seminole High School. He was an unbelievable competitor. So whether it was in baseball, whether it was in basketball, whether it was in football, it was great to always see how he competed and his love for the game. More importantly, it was his love for his teammates that I often remember. But the opportunity also to see him compete at the collegiate level was always a tremendous aspect. He always has represented Seminole High School with the utmost class and dignity, but more importantly, as all Seminole athletes should, with a lot of drive and determination and toughness. So I'm very, very proud to introduce one of my favorite Gators, Brian Boone Babin.
Brian Babin, graduated Seminole High School in 2005. Excited to be inducted into the 2025 Seminole Athletic Hall of Fame. Since I was a young kid, I can remember going to the pit on Friday nights, the Gold Dome, and watching Seminole baseball, win a big baseball game somewhere. Just a lot of core memories from me as a child and as a student athlete there. I think if anybody knows our family, Seminole High School means an awful lot to us. My dad played ball there, coached there. My mom was a teacher and a coach there. My brother's currently a teacher and a coach there. My sister Callie and myself played ball and went there. And now my wife is actually the school nurse at Seminole. So happy to still be a part of the community, to live close, to be able to go to a pit on Friday nights and watch another little number 10 throw it around a little bit and watch my niece. She's a cheerleader and a softball player, so excited to still be a part of it, and just extremely humbled for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. As far as role models and mentors, for me I had a lot, but probably two of the best you could ask for are my parents, both of them being teachers and coaches and giving so much of their life to the parish and this community. Just teaching and coaching kids, just wasn't just me and my brother and my sister, but just the lives that they've changed for kids that came through their programs was something that I definitely took notice to. For them to, just always instill that the work ethic and being a leader and accountability, all different characteristics, that you take with you, for your entire life. Just always there for you, and there wasn't a whole lot of excuses that can get thrown around in our household. So it was fun. It's different to be raised by coaches, but it was a good thing. It definitely benefited me athletically and academically. Just extremely grateful for them and our upbringing, and then also probably, I got to throw my brother in there who helped mold me into being a quarterback, and I wanted to wear number 10 just like he did, and it was just. He was kind of that figure that, we could talk ball and talk on and off the field type stuff. So very thankful for those three. Probably couldn't ask for any better role models or mentors. As far as good memories, being a three-sport athlete, there were a lot of good ones. Mostly started with football. Just every Friday night in the pit was special to me, playing with my childhood friends. A lot of great memories. We never really shied away from anybody. We played some pretty stiff competition pre-district, and then our district was tough. It was before the split. There's one game that I remember very well is we kind of got after West Monroe one day at home, and I think we were up 20 at half. They ended up coming back to win, but at that point we kind of knew, hey, look, we can play with anybody. Coach Swack was always trying to prepare us for deep playoff runs, and so first 4 games of the season were always pretty tough. But basketball, basketball was challenging for us. We were a bunch of football players, and in the 3 years that we lettered, I think Woodlawn, who was in our district, they won a state championship 3 years in a row. So basketball was a challenge, of course, but then to go into baseball, being a child, going and watch all the big games and seeing all the state championships that Santa Maria had won previously on the Bio Lemons, you wanted to be a part of that and leave a legacy. And we finally, we had a lot of good years, made some deep runs, but we finally got to it in 2004 and were able to win a state title in walk-off fashion. So that game will never be erased from my memory, I can assure you. To do it with a lot of your childhood friends you grew up playing with since you were 9 years old. I think of the 9 starters that they followed us had been playing together since about 9. So probably one of my greatest all-time athletic memories, to be honest. But then, and then of course, it wouldn't be me if I didn't say that going 3-0 against East Ascension in football at my career starting was probably the best thing ever. I can live peacefully in Ascension Parish and bring it up every time that they're going to beat me in the starters. So, it's probably the biggest and best memory that I have. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is such a huge honor. Just a place that I really, really, really care about. To be in such a prestigious group with a bunch of great athletes, a bunch of great contributors and coaches. I just can't say enough about it. Extremely humble, but how special for me and my family to be able to be inducted alongside my brother and my dad. Just extremely special and very thankful, and excited to be a part of such a great club. As far as thank yous go, hope I don't leave anybody off, but to start off by thanking my parents who were all their dedication and hard work into getting us all the practices, the games, and always being there for me and my brother and my sister. Just extremely grateful. All the long nights and long bus rides and long car rides, and my poor mom having to sit through all the injuries and the bad games when there may have been a few fans cussing me, and same for my dad, who was my dad. Getting to play for my dad was one of the coolest things ever, and easily my favorite coach of all time. So very thankful for them. Thankful for my mama Diane, who came to every game. I can't think of any that she missed. Always cooking dinner for us on Sundays, and my sister, poor thing, she got drugged to stadiums and fields all over the country. Very thankful for her and my brother. Obviously, my brother was a huge part of me playing quarterback, and helped me on the field, but also helped me get in trouble off the field. That's cute. But Coach David Swacker, one of my favorite coaches of all time, man. It was 4 great years with him. A guy that really helped try to raise the bar in a program and do whatever it takes, whether it's running the V or the wing tee or throwing it 50 times a game. He was always evolving. One of my favorite guys, just a very high character, great person with the best one-liners of all time. And Miss Swack, Miss Tracy was, she was awesome. She was passionate about the school. She had to, endure the wins and losses too. And just 2 great people that love Santa Maria, and thankful for my time with him. Coach Dewey in basketball, great fundamental coach. Enjoyed playing for him. And Coach Bob Lemons, my favorite coach of all time. If you ask me, man, he always knew where you stood with Coach Lemons, and he was going to hold you accountable and prepare you. And obviously, it pays off in winning a state championship. A lot of assistants to thank: Coach Troy Tomplay, Coach Bill Mitchell, 2 of my favorites. Coach Blake Kling, who was the offensive coordinator for me and my brother. And obviously, Coach Guidry, man, really sets the tone as a freshman when you get there on what it's going to be like the next 4 years. You talk about a guy that bleeds black and gold, man. I love playing for Coach Guidry. And obviously, Coach Arsenault, man, I owe that guy so much for keeping me on the field. Everybody knows what he's done in sports medicine for the parish and then for our school, but for me personally, it was a lot, and I'm extremely thankful for him and all he's done for me. And then lastly, my teammates, you're not here without your teammates, and I had a lot of good ones, some damn good ones. Football, basketball, baseball, you name it. Got to play with a lot of my childhood friends, and definitely 2 that stand out the most in Roman Jackson and PJ Brown that left us way too early. But you miss the locker room after wins for sure, and that's one of the biggest things I miss. But the Booster Club, the administration, Santa Maria High School, the facilities are great. We don't really go without. We're very spoiled in that aspect. The community, they bring it every Friday night in the pit. It's kind of just a trickle-down effect of the hard-working community that we are. It goes into the kids, and we're hard-working kids, and just thankful to be brought up at such a great school and a great community. I'm very thankful. Extremely honored to be inducted into this year's Hall of Fame. So, go Gators.
Our second inductee, athlete Brian Becker.
Next inductee is Seth Babin. Seth becomes the first Hall of Fame athlete that's a coach at Santa Maria High School. I'm very proud of Seth and very proud to have the opportunity to work as long as we did together at Santa Maria High School. Seth, as an athlete, led from the front. He let his actions speak for himself. He wasn't an overly vocal leader, but his actions spoke loudly on the field. He was a tremendous teammate and continues to be the utmost student of the game. We're very proud of Seth, and more importantly, the type of people that he is, but also he carries the legacy of what Santa Maria High School is and those athletes. He definitely lives by that Gator creed. So I'm very proud to announce Seth Babin.
What an honor to be elected to Santa Maria's Hall of Fame. My earliest influences on my athletic career come from my parents. Most kids get off the school bus at early ages at daycares or grandparents' house, where I got dropped off at Galvez Middle School, where both parents were coaching. I would find a practice field, I'd find the gym, get to throw the ball, get to shoot basketball, or just simply watch them coach the players that they had. Every Friday, we would go to the Santa Maria games. I would sit up in the top row of the bleachers and watch all the players that my dad had coached, and really studying the game So that when I went home, I think about the things that I watched. And on Saturday mornings, for my Pee Wee game, I think about everything that I saw the night before, or players that my dad coached, and their names getting called on the loudspeaker, and I would try to imitate stuff that I saw or learned that night in my Pee Wee games for the Galvez Tigers. My favorite memories of Sandoval High School football would have to be number one, just the experience of high school football. The experiences that the kids get in high school football are usually unmatched. Your practices, your 7-on-7s, the bus rides to games, the locker room, just the downtime that you have around your teammates, all of that is the fun part. You're growing up with your childhood friends and you're playing a game. You get to go against each other every day at practice. And, just the camaraderie that you build, it just really lasts as a lifetime. The big thing about high school football is the community-based following you have and just getting to play under the lights. And for me, at the pit, there's no better time. I would say my second biggest memory of my time in Sandoval High School football would probably be when we played Barb on the road, week 1 of my senior season. We were able to take some chartered buses down for the trip. Kind of gave you a taste of what it would be like maybe playing college football or something bigger. They had a player named Justin Vincent that was on their team. He played running back at LSU. So we knew it would be a big game. It would be a great challenge, and it was one that we worked hard on all summer with our focus of going on the road to beat those guys. So we played well that day, and we came out of there with a win, and it was one that we talked about for a while. I guess a great player and a great team like Barr. I'd have to say by far my favorite memory, Sandoval High School football, would be the night that we played Catholic. We had a weather delay, and then the lights went out at the pit. So for a 2-hour halftime, when you're trailing in a football game, it's not real good for the players because Coach Swacker came in and gave a very inspirational speech to try to get us out of our little funk that we were in, because we were trailing probably about 2 scores at the time. And then we just sat and waited and waited and waited. And when he felt like we waited, the message wore off, he'd come back in, he'd get us again. And finally, we got the lights cut back on. We took the field again, and I remember the opening kickoff, we kicked off the Catholic. The ball bounced on the ground. The returner tried to reverse the field. We dropped them for a loss. They punted after 3 and out. We hit a quick vertical down our sideline. We thought it was a touchdown. The cannons were going off. The people that stayed around were cheering. It was so loud with so few people that we didn't even know he stepped out at the 1-yard line. We had to go back in and finish the drive from the 1. And we climbed back in the football game, and then we needed one more score. Catholic punts the ball to us, and they get a great bounce. We have to drive the ball around 96 yards to go win the game. We pulled off the drive, we marched down the field. I remember we hit a big corner route getting us down towards the goal line. And then I was fortunate enough to have the ball in my hands the last play, where I got to dive over the top into the end zone to get the 28-27 comeback victory over Catholic, which was a pretty special moment. The Sandoval community has been great to me. This is just another example of how good it's been for me and my family. Being elected to the Hall of Fame means a lot to me. I'm very humbled. I'm very honored to be a part of Sandoval's Hall of Fame. I can't even explain the emotions or how excited I am to also be able to share this opportunity and experience with my dad and my brother, who are also members of this year's Hall of Fame class. There's lots of people for me to thank to put me in a situation where I am today. I'm very grateful. I'd have to first just just thank God for the athletic abilities that I had that allowed me to have some of the greatest experiences and growing up in those parts. I'm truly blessed and thankful. I like to thank my parents for their love and support. They were there for every sacrifice to get to every game, every practice along the way, and just all the life lessons that they taught me, in my life. I like to also thank my brother Brian and my sister Callie, just for everything, always being there and their love and support. I'd like to thank Coach David Swacker and his coaching staff for development, just the opportunities to play, the experiences that I've had. I still have a great relationship with most of those coaches, Coach Swacker, to this day, and extremely grateful for everything that he and those guys have done for me in my career. I'd have to thank my teammates, who are also, a lot of them are some of my best friends. They played such a big part in all of this that I have to give them most of the credit. I wouldn't be anywhere without the teammates, and I want to thank those guys for all those memories. Most importantly, I need to thank my wife, Megan, who is here today, and she's the person that is that I depend on the most. So I have to thank her for everything along the way, and my kids, Cooper, Camille, and Monroe. I'd just like to thank you, really, just for being here today to share this memory with me, and then watching you grow and creating memories of your own. Thanks for this. I'm truly blessed. Go Gators.
Our second athlete inducted tonight, Seth Babin.
Next athlete inductee is Sydney Celestine. Sydney is a very special athlete. Sydney was one of our second track and field athlete to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. But Sydney was one of the first athletes at Seminole High School that got national acclaim for his prowess on the track. So we're very proud to get this opportunity to induct Sydney Celestine.
Good evening. I will be speaking on behalf of my uncle Sidney Celestine. I come to you today humbled by this incredible honor. I still do not quite believe that I am here being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Thank you to the review committee, to administrators, faculty, and staff, and I'm also so grateful to my family and friends. Growing up in Sanamon, I remember Ms. Deidre Phillips being very protective of me before allowing Coach Spacker to take me under his wings to train me to be the best athlete. I remember that day in the gym, Coach saw me doing hurdles with ease and begged Ms. Phillips to let me be a part of track and field. She was hesitant, but eventually gave in after Coach promised to take care of me. I mostly stayed to myself at school. I normally would be with my brothers, Mr. Bill Taylor, or Ms. Phillips, who would help me with my studies. My favorite teacher was Ms. Phillips. She always had my back and always told me to do my best. My mom, Pearl, was my role model and biggest fan. Remembering the day I made my triple jump record, I felt very proud of myself. Gary Johnson had just beat me in a meet in Morgan City, so I was determined the next time we met up again, I would beat him. The day came at the LSU indoor track meet in 1988. Gary had jumped 49-05.5 feet, and I edged him out to break the state record, jumping 50-01 feet. I am very appreciative for the time Coach Swacker and Coach Shaky spent traveling and training me to be great. After 34 years of my state record holding, I am honored and humbled to have been one of the few chosen to be inducted into this year's Hall of Fame. I only wish my parents could see their baby boy now.
I would like to thank God for the blessing of my parents, Pearl, and here in Celestine, my Toronto family. I also want to thank my coach Swagger and Chicky and Miss Phillips for believing in me. I am sitting on Celestine. Go get it.
Our third athlete tonight, Sydney Celestine.
Next, I get to introduce a very special gator, Mr. Fritz Unglot. Fritz was a pioneer for the Booster Club as well as for the Gators. His business mind and his innovation to help us raise money for our program is still being used today, and it's been unsurpassed the amount of money that he's hit, those ideas and concepts have raised for this program. He also had great opportunities for us when he started the red beans and rice, T-bone steak and red beans and rice competition, which is still held on annually every year. It's something that's pretty special to Sandoval High School. Fritz has gone away, not only had he become a great booster as well as a fundraiser, but he also spent time on the coaching staff. So for a very special gator, that guy that I'm glad that I got to be a part of my whole tenure at Sandoval High School, Mr. Fritz Anglot.
We moved in from Luxor, bought a house in Sandoval, and my kids enrolled in school, and they were active. They were on the dance team. I had 4 daughters, and they were on the dance team and the booster and the pep squad. My son got involved playing football and became the starting center for Sandoval High School. Then we had an old scoreboard that we were no longer using, and that was an eyesore. So what I did is I decided to go ahead and sell some signs on the scoreboard to dress it up. That led to me selling signs in front of the pit on the fence, and I think we raised thousands of dollars. That the money went directly to the Sandoval athletic program. I was then became president of the Booster Club in '88 and '89. We didn't have much of a bylaw, so I sat down with the rest of the members, board, and we rewrote the bylaws and had structured bylaws for the Booster Club. Every Thursday after practice, I would cook hamburgers for the whole team, and I still run across, and I think they nicknamed it Fitzburgers. I still run across players that come up to me and ask me about the Fitzburger because I really went big, very popular. Well, you know, being on the staff, of the coaching staff, I just got involved with the radios. I became the radio man, and my job was to charge the radios and distribute them to the coaches and make sure they were working. That was a big deal. They would turn to me sometimes and the radio wasn't working, and I'd take it, play with it, and give it back to them. But I didn't do anything about it to the radio. Well, the more I would attend would go to school at 12:30, 1 o'clock every day, and had a desk in the coach's office. I helped Bill Mitchell with the receivers coach. I took a LHSAA test to become an official coach. That was at the encouragement of Doug Morrow, who was principal at the time. In regards to the T-bone steak and red bean and rice challenge, Jay Patterson and I were both in a Rotary Club, and talking after the meeting one day, we decided we'd get together, and the winner would eat steaks and the loser would cook beans and cook the meal. And that went on since 1990, and it's still going on today. It's a big honor, and as you can see, there's many people involved in this program, and it's a very fun deal. We have a banquet at the end of football season, and a lot of laughing and talking and joking and harassing each person. It's like I said, it's still going on today. This has been going on for 35 years, and the group of people. Jay was passed away, and was Sam Spellergene became the captain for EA, and then when Sam passed away, Brett Hughes is now the existing captain. And it was just a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie, back and forth. And like I said, the winners eat steak, and the losers eat beans. And the losing team has to serve myself and the head coach at the time the steaks. And the Santa Monica people sit on one side, and the EA people sit on the other. And of course, a lot of teasing and harassing and going on between the group.
Our contributor tonight, Mr. Fritz Amant.
Next Hall of Fame inductee is athlete Kara Grimion. Kara was a three-sport athlete here at Santa Monica High School that went on to play collegiately at UL. She was a Gatorade Player of the Year here when she was a Gator. She was a tremendous athlete, but more importantly, a tremendous teammate. Her competitive nature always outclassed anyone. We're very proud to get this opportunity to introduce to y'all Ms. Kara Grimion.
Santa Monica Athletics means so much to me. From a young age, I grew up watching the Santa Monica softball team, and I truly dreamed of the day that it would be my turn to take the field as an athlete. I'm just so thankful that life led my family to this school, and I soon realized what a huge gift that was. I think the community surrounding the athletics department and the high standards each sport held you to is what set it apart from any other school. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, and I'm forever grateful that I was given the chance to be a part of its rich history and traditions. Especially softball, anytime we went to a tournament, everyone knew who we were, which was pretty amazing and not something that I could have experienced at any other school. During my time here, I felt connected to something much greater than just a school, a team, or a sport. I felt connected to the pride of this community, whether it was the loyal Gator fans who filled the stands, or the young kids running around the field. It was truly something that was inspiring and made every moment at this place unforgettable. Being inducted in the Hall of Fame is more than just an individual achievement. It represents the countless people, experiences, and lessons that shaped me along the way. It's a reminder of the hours of practice, the challenges that pushed me to grow, and the teammates and coaches who made every moment meaningful. To have my name remembered among so many incredible athletes who came before me is both humbling and inspiring. This honor isn't just about what I accomplished on the field, but about the pride of carrying Santa Ma's tradition forward and being forever connected to a program that has given me so much. I can't say I had one specific role model growing up, but my greatest motivation did come from my family. Athletics, especially softball, were simply a part of who we were. I had 4 aunts, along with my mom and a cousin, who did play college softball, so the game was woven in my life from the very beginning. Some of my earliest memories are going to co-ed games with my parents, or sitting nearby when my mom gave pitching lessons. It was my favorite thing to do. She also coached high school softball, and I absolutely loved tagging along to practices and games. Watching those older players compete lit a fire in me at a very young age. Then my mom also coached me majority of my life, so she played a huge role in where I am today. The highlights of my career are really just an overall compilation of memories from all the long bus rides to and from games, and then being able to play and compete in the postseason for each of the 3 sports that I competed in. I really remember being a part of the many firsts for each sport. For volleyball, we made to the semifinal round of the playoffs for the first time in school history. For basketball, we won district for the first time in 20 years. And then having an undefeated regular season of softball my senior year, going 27-0, leading into the playoffs. It is just the grind of every day, day in and day out, showing up to perform and compete at the highest level without ever complaining or ever missing a practice or a game, and I've really taken that with me into the rest of my life. And then, of course, I also remember arguing with Coach Arsenault a few times about whether or not I was going back into the game after getting an elbow to the eye and having a huge bleeding gash. We did that a few times, but I always won the argument. I would like to thank the selection committee for allowing me to be inducted into the 2025 Santa Ma Athletic Hall of Fame. This is an honor that I humbly accept and have such a deep appreciation to be in the company of so many greats that have come before me, as well as those that will come after me. I want to extend my appreciation to the Santa Ma Athletic Booster Club that makes this banquet honoring us possible, as well as for all they did during my years at Santa Ma. To all of my coaches, my volleyball coach, Allison Leak, my basketball coach, Christy Ungline, and my softball coach, Scott Nielsen, and each of their staffs for putting so much time into each season and athlete that they coached. The sports medicine staff led by Coach Scott Arsenault for keeping me healthy and always putting our well-being first. Then lastly, my parents, Ken and Claudia, and my siblings, Courtney, Bo, and Bailey, and then my extended family of many aunts, uncles, and cousins that were my cheering section at so many games throughout my high school and college career.
This next inductee is extremely special and extremely well-deserved. A. Denise Graves. Coach Graves, as some people may know, Denise has had every job in our school system, from superintendent to coach. She's impacted thousands of people. I know personally, I was extremely grateful that my time at Seminole High School I spent in having Ms. Graves as a mentor and as somebody that I could always count on. She loved Santa Monica High School. She loved the school system, and she loved the kids in there. She always represented and understood what athletics brought to the table. We are so proud to get the opportunity to induct you, Denise. I apologize not to be here tonight to get one of those awesome hugs from you, but you are very deserving, and I'm very proud that you get this distinction. I'm very proud to announce our next inductee, A. Denise Graves.
I had a family, and that's who was most influential. My father, my mother, and my sister were the greatest supporters that anyone could request. I was involved in youth sports from the onset. My parents had us involved in all youth activities, whether it be basketball, bowling, volleyball, softball, you name it, we did it. And so our family traveled a lot because my father was military, but what we learned out of that was that I was exposed to a number of volunteer coaches, and so that intrigued me early on because that was people giving their time to assist the youth, and so that was helpful. The other part that was helpful was when I was a junior in high school, they had two PE teachers that really had an influence on me, and that was Miss Jane McCutcheon and Miss Bobby Forty. And it was at that point in my junior year that I decided that I wanted to pursue perhaps a career in education, and specifically involved with coaching. And so the impact has been tremendous. Of course, from my parents, first of all, we learned family values. We were taught about respect of others, certainly understanding about trusting, about commitment, about loyalty, about responsibility, about obligation to others. If you committed to a sport, then you were committed to the sport because there were other people that were dependent upon you and your actions. And so those are some of the impacts that were monumental in my life. And then I just decided that if I had an opportunity to teach at the high school level, that's what I would want to do. And therefore, I pursued a degree in education. And like I said, I was fortunate enough to get a job, my very first job at Santa Monica High School, which I ended up making it a career at Santa Monica High School for 17 years. Wow. The highlight was working at Santa Monica High School. I know that's very wide span, but having an opportunity to work with youth, have an opportunity to mold them and to shape them, having an opportunity to encourage all of them and to hopefully inspire them is the highlight for me. Another highlight is being able to work in a community that was so embracing of success. There was a level of excellence that was expected at Santa Monica High School, and so it's always a highlight when you were able to see your students achieve highlights in their life, whether it be a personal record on the track or a personal record on the basketball court, whatever the significant achievement was, that's a highlight for me. So every time a child reached one of their personal goals, it was a highlight for me. Probably the greatest highlight is understanding that I was in education and that academics was most important. And so a highlight is seeing every single child succeed by receiving a high school diploma. And for some of our students, it was difficult, but we were able to work with them and stay with them to make sure that they achieved that goal. Another highlight is as a coach, when you have an opportunity to develop these long-term relationships, when your students are gone and they come back and they visit you, but more importantly, when you get graduation announcements from college in the mail from them, when you get birth announcements of their children, that's an achievement. When you get wedding announcements, that's an achievement. Because that means that you definitely had a positive impact on them and that they felt strong enough about you and the relationship that we have that they wanted to keep you involved. And so that's certainly a highlight for me. I don't know of any other place that I would have been where to this day, 44 years in, I have the opportunity to see the success of so many of my students. They have become productive citizens, not only in the Santa Monica area, but in the parish of Ascension and in the state of Louisiana. I have seen my students become high achievers. I've had students that have been named support person of the year, new teacher of the year, employers of the year. And so that's just a great accomplishment knowing that from the land of Sanama, we are still contributing at a very high level of success. And once again, it's not about the honors, because sometimes some of my kids just graduating is an honor. And so I definitely appreciate that. So those are some of the highlights that I remember about Sanama. Oh wow, my attachment to Sanama High School goes back to when I was a undergraduate and had just graduated from the University of Texas at El Paso. I was a fall graduate, therefore I started at LSU graduate school in a spring semester. I did substitute teaching at Sanama Elementary. While doing that, I was actively recruited by the principal from Sanama High School and the assistant principal from Sanama High School because they had a vacancy that was coming forward. They had a female teacher that was leaving. So Mr. Clark Giffen, the principal, and Mr. Jesse Sanders actually came to the elementary school to speak with me about the position. Certainly I was interested in the position. Sanama High School was a relatively new high school. And I also had family members that were attending Sanama High School. I also knew that the Darrell community and that the Sanama community was rich with great athletes at the time. And so I was appreciative for Mr. Sanders, Mr. Giffen, and the athletic director, Mr. Lloyd Wax, for afforded me an opportunity to seek the position at Sanama High School. So the position at Sanama High School actually came to me. I didn't apply for the position, and so that was very nice in itself. The other part about Sanama High School, what attracted me to it, was the community. I certainly was aware of the facilities. The Gold Dome was certainly in the news at that time, and just the community and the support that they were providing made it very welcoming and interesting to me. On my first day of teaching, I met two very intriguing people. Nancy French, who was the other female coach. Her and I became good friends, and we are still friends to this day. And so we coached for the duration that I was there as a coach. And also Mr. Richard Brown and Mr. Larry Favorite also were people that I met on day one. And so that's what really attracted me to Sanama High School. Well, first of all, I'm deeply honored and humbled to be inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame at Sanama High School. I want to express my gratitude to the selection committee and all those who have been on the path with me in my athletic career as a coach, as an administrator in Ascension Parish, but more importantly, my 17 years at Sanama High School. I'm extremely humbled that my name gets to be in alignment with all the rest of the class of 2025, incredible people, and certainly I want to thank Sanama High for all the golden opportunities that were given to me as an educator. Wow, people I'd like to thank. There's a number of people, but first of all, I'm going to go back and thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee. I'm eternally grateful for the recognition. I want to thank all of the coaches and all of my colleagues that have pushed me to be my best. Certainly I want to thank all of the faculty and staff at Sanama High School. I want to thank the administration, and I want to specifically call Mr. Clark Giffen, Mr. Jesse Sanders, Mr. Lloyd Wax, Nancy French, my dear friend, Mr. Richard Brown, and Larry Favorite. There are way too many names that I need to call, but I certainly want to make sure that I acknowledge you right here. You know who you are. You've been engaged or involved in my career. I certainly want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all that's been done. I want to thank my friends, I want to thank my sorority sisters, and I want to thank my extended family. My extended family includes my stepsister Lisa, my niece Portia, my cousins Leo, Amy, and Troy, and all others. Lastly, I want to, and most importantly, thank my parents and my sister, Nathaniel Rosa Graves, and my sister Marsha Graves Taylor, who instilled in me the love for athletics and who taught me the importance of hard work and dedication. I am eternally grateful for their many sacrifices. I benefited from all the sacrifices that they were able to make for me. I also want to give, lastly, thanking God for the many blessings that He's bestowed upon me. Once again, there is no greater feeling than to be a Santa Monica Gator. God bless. Thank you.
Our second coach of the night, Denise Graves.
Our last inductee is a special inductee. Any of our legacy inductees are special because they had a hand in building the foundation that we know as Santa Monica High School, as well as Santa Monica High School athletics. All of these legacies all have the same characteristics: toughness, grit, perseverance, and talent. Without any further ado, a guy that exemplifies all of those, Mr. Jimmy Michael.
Hi, I'm Quentin Michael. I'm here representing James Michael, who was introduced into the Hall of Fame at Santa Monica Athletics. He was a football player. He graduated in 1957. This is a picture of how this is his graduation. I also have a picture of him in his football uniform. I found a newspaper article which read pretty good, so I thought I would read it. James Michael, former Santa Monica High Gritter, is in his sophomore season at Southeastern Louisiana College, playing under coach Stanley Galloway. The 1957 graduate of Santa Monica weighed 220 pounds and stood 5'11". He led it in football under coach Bobby Joe Jenkins. The burly tackle was placed on the all-district team twice and was named All-State twice during his prep days. Dad talked a lot of different things about football on both sides, both the physical side as well as the mental side. Dad and I had a lot of good times together in life. I just wish he would have been here to receive this award from y'all. Myself and my family are really appreciative of you giving him this award. Every time I'm out in the different places of the hardware stores and stuff in Santa Monica, I run into older people that knew Dad. That's the first thing they have to say is what kind of football player he was, and the things that he was able to do with a football, and he was a kicker, and he did just all kind of different things with it, and that just seemed to be the story of his life. Thank you very much.
Our final inductee of the night, a legacy that forever lives in our heart. Legacy Jimmy Michael, accepting for his father, Quentin Michael. At this time, I would like to turn it over to our last video of the night and the final words from Scott Arsenault.
I hope tonight you've had the opportunity to laugh a little, cry a little, but more importantly, reflect a lot. Remember, Santa Monica High School is a special place. The school is only a building, but what makes Santa Monica so special is the people that are inside of it. So tonight, without any further ado, before we close out, I'd like to bring up Coach Oliver, the AD at Santa Monica High School. And this was one of he's put a great deal of effort to put this Hall of Fame together. So I'd like to bring up the guy that's really started this whole endeavor, Coach David Oliver.
Our athletic director, David Hilton.
Thank you. I appreciate it. A few quick announcements before we break up. The first thing is
When this is all the dust settles from this, Mark is going to send me all the photographs from this, and I'd be happy to share those via email with all the inductees, their families, or anyone who's here tonight. I also have PDF files of the game program, and I got copies of these videos, so if that's some keepsake that you'd like to have, please don't hesitate to email me, and I'll send those out to the people. So the administration at Santa Maria is great, but what helps me the most at my job is the level between the administration, which is Jamie Lanou and Jolie Hartman here. Really do an amazing job of making my life seriously easier. And when we break up here, Mark wants all the inductees to meet up back there with their trophies so that he can get some pictures with that good lighting. And before I go, Santa Maria has, I think, 2 or 3 powerlifting state champions. The teams that were not, we won them, but it was not recognized as an LHSA sport. Since then, about 48 years later, we've got 9 in softball, 5 in baseball, so a total of 14 teams. And we got a coach here tonight that was the head coach of more than a few of those state titles, and I'd like to welcome him back, Scott Nielsen. Congratulations to all the inductees. This is an awesome class. It was a great night. Always a great day to be a Gator. I'm going to let Coach Hartman close it out.
All right, so I want to close by just congratulating all inductees again. I want to thank everyone that came here to support these inductees. As the inductees said on this video, you cannot be an athlete without a support system. So thank y'all so much for supporting them through their endeavors and here tonight. And we hope everyone has a safe trip home. And we hope to see all of you tomorrow night at the pits. Go Gators.
All right, folks, there it is.
Your 2025 inductees.
Yep. Again, congratulations to Brian Babin, Seth Babin, Sydney Celestine, Cara Grimillon, Coach Benny Babin, Coach Denise Graves, Mr. Fritz Anglade, and Jimmy Michael. Congratulations again to all of them.
Yep.
Much deserved honors. Well,
one thing real quick, though.
Yeah.
One thing
what we got?
We'll probably talk about
Let's
it
talk
again,
about it.
But I didn't realize, I knew Sydney's record stood for a very long time.
How long, Brad?
34 years. Because it was actually broken this year.
This year.
That was from 88
right
to this year. His record stood.
Right.
And I think they only broke it by an inch or half an inch.
Yeah, it was like an inch or whatever. But the thing about it is, the kids today got better nutrition.
Oh my! Oh yeah.
They got better
training. Oh yes.
Everything's better now.
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
And Sydney went out there, like you said.
Probably didn't even warm up.
Yeah. like never did track and field. Like a lot of high school kids now in track and field, they do track and field as when they're young.
Yes. Yeah. Just like all the sports now.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of track and field going on like that. And Sydney, he went. Come on, Teach. Let me go jump.
Let me go. Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to all of them.
Yeah.
Much deserved. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We will be live tomorrow.
Yep.
Live from the pit as the Santa Maria Gators will be hosting the John F. Kennedy. I think they're the Panthers, huh? Panthers or Cougars, something like that. They one of the two. It's a big cat. I know that, and it's not a lion, so it's either a cougar or a panther. But we'll be there tomorrow as they introduce the Hall of Fame to the community.
Correct.
Again. And then that's about it, Brad.
Yeah,
we got to wrap this up. Let's go home.
We got work tomorrow.
I took off.
Oh, Lord.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. That's it for us. Yeah. We're out of here, and it's a great day to be